Hi everybody, today I'm gonna show you how to do the C2C technique. In this specific video, I'm gonna show you how to do the mini C2C, which will be made with half double crochet instead of double crochet. I'm speaking about US terminology. So how the C2C work and why it's called like that. So C2C means literally corner to corner. This will be the work you will see, but actually we will work it this way. So from this corner to this corner. Now I did the square, but you can do a rectangular, you can do the form you prefer. So how it works with little squares. So basically you can see that here there are 4 squares. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. But how we work will be like this. So in the first row we will have 1 square, in the second row we will have 2 squares, in the third row we will have 1, 2, 3 squares, and the fourth 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we will start to decrease to close the work. So we will have in the 5th row we will have 1, 2, 3 squares, in the 6th row 1, 2, and the 7th row just 1 to close the work. This technique can be used for blankets. It really works fast for blankets, especially if you use the double crochet instead of the half double crochet like I'm doing in this case. And it works for bags, it works for pillows. And right now on the right of the screen you're gonna see the bag I made with this, and in the description you can find the links to the bag pattern. To show you better how this works, I will use a thicker yarn. So this is an acrylic yarn and I'm using a 6mm crochet hook because this will look better in video. So the first thing you're gonna do is a slip knot with a little bit of a long tail that you will weave in later. So let's do the slip knot. You can do the slip knot in the way you prefer, you're used to. So now the first thing we are gonna do is 5 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, and we are gonna work an half double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. So 1, 2 and 3, which is also the 3rd chain from the bottom if you prefer counting like that. So 1, 2, 3. So yarn over, 1, 2, 3. Enter, and we do our half double crochet, and then we do 2 half double crochet in the remaining 2 stitches. So yarn over, enter here, 2nd half double crochet, and the 3rd and the last one. So now we actually create our first square. I know you're not seeing that way right now, but trust me, that's how it works. So basically this one is this one. Okay, now let's go further and I will show you how it works. So now, as I said before, the first row it consists only of 1 square. The second row will have 2 squares, so we have to increase. To increase, we reach now, we did 5 chain again, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and again we do an half double crochet on the 3rd chain from the hook. So yarn over, 1, 2, 3, and I do my half double crochet. Now I do other 2 half double crochet in the 2 remaining chains. So 2 and 3. Now it can get a little bit complicated, but don't worry, I will go through with you with this. So now we have this weird thing. So what you're gonna do is turning your first square this way, and we are gonna work in the 2 chain space that we created before, so here. So you enter with your hook there and you do a slip stitch, quite tight if you can. So in this case we create the first square of the 2nd row. So now what we are gonna do is doing 2 chains where we are and working 3 half double crochet in the same space where you enter with the slip stitch. So basically in the 2 chain space we worked before. So we enter, do 1, we do 2, and we do 3. So just to show you. So this is how we're working. So this was the first row, so 1 square, and this is the second row, 2 squares. To make you see how it works, is like this. Again, don't look too much about the fact now they don't look squares. First of all, because we just started. The second, because we are using a different yarn. So now you'll see everything much bigger. But basically we are here. So this is the first one and this is the second row. So 2 squares, 2 squares. Let's go ahead and do the third row. So what we are gonna do now is, again, 5 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Again, 1 double crochet in the third chain. So 1, 2, 3, and then 2 half double crochet in the remaining 2 chains. Okay, now we turn our work like this, and we are gonna work in the 2 chain space we created before. So there, and we do a slip stitch. Then we do 2 chains, and we work 3 half double crochet in the same space. Again, we arrive here. Now we have to join in the 2 chain space. So slip stitch, 2 chains, and 3 half double crochet inside the same space. So 1. So now we have the third row. So first row 1 square, second row 2 squares, third row 1, 2, 3. Let's do the fourth one, and then we start to decrease, to reduce the number of our stitches. So again, since we are creasing, 5 chains, 3 half double crochet in the next 3 chains. We turn our work and we start to do the slip stitch in the first 2 chain space, and our 2 chains and 3 half double crochet, and we work like this until we reach the end. You can see now we have 3. Being the fourth row, we have to have 4, so we are gonna close here and slip stitch, and again another square. So 1, 2 and 3 half double crochet. So now we have our fourth row done. So 1, 2, 3 squares. What we are gonna do now is decrease. In order to decrease, right now we are not gonna do the 5 chains, but we simply turn our work. Okay, no chain. So what we are gonna do is doing like this, turn our work, and then we are gonna work in the previous half double crochet slip stitches. So the general rule says that we should do a slip stitch in each of the 3 previous half double crochet and in the 2 chain space. What I'm doing usually instead is doing 2 slip stitches in the 2 half double crochet, and then go immediately to the space. So basically what I'm gonna do, instead of doing 1, 2, 3 and the 4th slip stitch, I'm gonna do just 2 slip stitch. So in the first one, which it can be a little bit tricky sometimes because it's really close. So first one, the second one, and instead of doing the 3rd half double crochet and the chain space, I'm gonna do just the chain space slip stitch. So, and now it works like before. So we are gonna do 2 chains and 3 half double crochet in each on the one space, but don't do the last one, then we'll meet that together. So now that we did that, we did 1, 2, 3, and we are not gonna do the 4th one because we are going to decrease, and we did 4th in the previous row. So what we're gonna do now is enter in the chain space, doing a slip stitch, but we are not gonna do another square. So we are not gonna chain 2 and do 3 half double crochet, but we are gonna turn our work and do what we did before. So we turn our work, and again we do 1 slip stitch in the first one, 2nd slip stitch, and the slip stitch in the 2 chain space, and we are gonna work again 2 chains and 3 half double crochet, and we do the same like just we did. Then we arrive at the end, and instead of doing the last square, we just close with the slip stitch. Follow me there. So we did just 2 this time because we are decreasing. So we enter here, just slip stitch, and again to go further we close, we turn, we do 1 slip stitch, 2nd slip stitch, and slip stitch in the chain space, 2 chains, 3 half double crochet, and this is the last one. So 1, 2 and 3, and we enter here and we do a slip stitch, and our job is done. So we leave a long tail to wave in, fasten off, and this is your first C to C. So your work, it doesn't have a wrong or right side right now because we kept moving between both. But actually, when you work in a blanket or a pattern on a grafcan, etc., you will have a right or wrong side. So what we are gonna do is following a pattern. So in the next video, you will see how to follow a small pattern like this with some colors inside, and how to change the color with the C2C. One thing that you can use to remember where you started seeing the first tail, so that will be in this corner. So usually the pattern are written like this, so you work from this to this, and you can see this one is not exactly in the corner, so it misses the end if you get confused by. Of course, if you use different yarn, you can have different results, smaller, or if you use like really small one, you can have different design. So you can have different size in comparing on the yarn you're using. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please put a like, and if you already didn't, please subscribe my channel and have a look at my other videos.